This Friday, the 18th of March, Liverpool will find out their opponents for the Champions League quarter-finals when the draw takes place in Nyon, Switzerland at 11 a.m. UK time. This is the last draw that takes place in the competition, as the bracket for the remainder of the Champions League will also take place, meaning the Reds will not only know their quarter-final opponent, but their potential semi-final opposition. The first legs of the quarter-finals will take place on the 5th and 6th of April, and the second legs will be a week later on the 12th and 13th. But who is in the hat for the draw, and what do we know about the teams that Liverpool can face? There is no group stage or national protection at this stage, so here are the 7 remaining teams that could stand between the Reds and the European crown. First up, we have Real Madrid, who are the story of the round of 16 after their incredible comeback victory over Paris Saint-Germain. In last season's Champions League, Liverpool faced Real at this exact same stage and unfortunately fell to a 3-1 defeat in Madrid and were unable to turn the tie around at Anfield, drawing 0-0 in the second leg. This time around, Real look even more dangerous, with their somewhat ageing, experienced squad doing so like a fine wine under the expert guidance of Carlo Ancelotti, with Los Blancos currently sat 7 points clear at the top of the La Liga table. The key danger men will be names we all know too well, with Karim Benzema slotting a hat-trick against PSG in that historic 3-2 aggregate win, and Luka Modric completely running the midfield at the ripe old age of 36. In the Champions League this season, Real have won every match apart from that stunning 2-1 loss at the Bernabeu to the competition's new boys, Sheriff Tiraspol of Moldova, and their first leg defeat in Paris in the last 16. But should Liverpool draw Los Blancos, the Reds would be hoping for revenge of last year's defeat when Jurgen Klopp had a severely depleted side to choose from, namely in defence. And of course, the painful memories of Kiev will add extra fuel to the fire. Manchester City, a potential opponent that will all be too familiar with Liverpool fans, with the two sides battling it out for the Premier League title after the Reds cut down a 14-point gap in January to be within just 3 points currently in March. The two clubs have previously met in the Champions League, coincidentally in the quarter-finals in 2018, as the Reds claimed that iconic 5-1 aggregate win. City have been a thorn in the side of Jurgen Klopp since his appointment, with the Sky Blues typically having the edge in the title race over the years, but when it comes to knockout competition, most would fancy the Reds. City don't necessarily have any particular dangermen, with a heavily rotated, star-studded squad. However, Kevin De Bruyne has finally maintained some fitness and world-class performances have followed, but Riyad Mahrez has been their star of the season. Mahrez has 6 goals in 8 Champions League games and has 28 goal contributions in 34 matches this season, so should Liverpool draw City, Robbo will have to be on top of his game. City have lost 2 matches in the Champions League this season, both away to PSG and Leipzig, but breezed past Sporting Lisbon 5-0 on aggregate in the last 16. Also, should the two face off, this would mean that Liverpool play Man City 3 times in April within 18 days, and the two clubs could also meet in an FA Cup semi-final during the same time period to make it 4 matches in close proximity. Up next are the arguable competition favourites, the juggernaut that is Bayern Munich, who dismantled Red Bull Salzburg 8-2 on aggregate. The first leg draw in Salzburg is the only stain on the German champions' impeccable Champions League season, who have won all 7 of their other matches, scoring a whopping 30 goals. Liverpool knocked out Bayern Munich in 2019's last 16 with a 3-1 win at the Allianz after drawing 0-0 at Anfield, which arguably could be the spark that spurred the Reds on to becoming European champions that year. An impeccable side who last won the Champions League in 2020 have developed into a new beast after transitioning from Hansi Flick to Julian Nagelsmann, often sporting a crazily offensive 3-1-4-2 formation, with Robert Lewandowski leading the line, scoring a whopping 43 goals in 36 games so far this season. Liverpool could also once again face Atletico Madrid after their fellow Group B graduates defeated Manchester United 2-1 on aggregate following their 1-0 win at Old Trafford. Atleti are a pesky, horrible side to play against, as we've all experienced successfully twice this season, with a 3-2 away win and a 2-0 home win, but the memory of 2020 leaves a sour taste in the mouth. Diego Simeone's side have been off the pace domestically and look unlikely to retain their La Liga title, and they strangely haven't won a single match at home in this year's Champions League, becoming the first side ever to do so but make a quarter-final. This stat just about sums up the crazy task of facing them. They always seemingly find a way to win, and despite their poor record, they can be a nuisance to face, as United found out. With respect to a massive club who have a rich history in the competition with 2 titles to their name, the team most Liverpool fans will want to draw is Benfica. The Portuguese outfit upset a poor Barcelona side in the group stage to reach the knockout stages, and in the last 16 they earned a somewhat shock 1-0 win at Ajax to go through 3-2 on aggregate. Their star man has been Uruguayan attacker Darwin Núñez, who has scored some big goals, including that winner at the Johan Cruyff Arena, and their experience at the back with Jan Vertonghen and Nicolas Otamendi means there'll be no easy feat should the Reds draw them. Reigning European and world champions Chelsea are the third and final English team into Europe's last 8 after they beat reigning French champions Lille 4-1 on aggregate. The two clubs have had some Champions League knockout classics over the years, with Luis Garcia's ghost goal in 2005 semi-final win for the Reds the highlight of their 10 matches in the competition. Of course, the two clubs met in the Carabao Cup final, which Liverpool won on penalties, and they've drawn both their matches in the Premier League this season. An opposition much like the rest of the pack, who will be all too familiar to Jurgen Klopp, are definitely one to fear in the draw as they look to retain their Champions League crown. Lastly, we have perhaps the shock of the round of 16 as Villarreal complete the lineup for the quarter-finals. The Yellow Submarines stunned a struggling Juventus at their own stadium with 3 late goals to secure a dramatic 4-1 aggregate victory and book their place in the last 8 for the first time since 2009. After a dreadful start to the season where they languished in mid-table, Villarreal are now 7th in La Liga, so it could be a surprise to some that they've made it this far in the Champions League, but they are under the expert European competition guidance in the form of Unai Emery, who knows how to win a knockout tie. Ones to watch for the Yellow Submarines include Gerard Moreno, Pau Torres, and of course Alberto Moreno could make his return to Anfield. But of course, the one team everyone will be fearing in the draw, 6-time European champions Liverpool, as we stampede on with hopes of a famous quadruple. The Reds on their day will take on anyone, but who would you like to draw and also avoid in the quarter-finals of the Champions League? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.